Hey friends, thank you for taking the time to join me for this brief talk about how we can grow our leadership capacity and better care for and influence our students. Now, in the next few moments, I want to concentrate our focus on the 10 minutes before our services begin and the 10 minutes after service ends. Now, these are essential time blocks that sometimes we give very little thought to. Our services are very important, but people are more important. Students are what matter most when we gather. Putting together a great service, a great life group time, it certainly shows that we care. And it certainly helps students clearly understand the Bible. And fun is an important part of our services too. But too often, I know that I allow the service to run the ministry. And so I've got to remind myself that the reason that we even have a service is so that we can gather people together. So, to keep us focused, let's start practicing a simple rule called the 10-minute rule. What that means is that the service actually starts 10 minutes before the actual service starts. Now, I know that sounds weird, but the idea is that we're all here and ready to start 10 minutes before go time so that we can all be ready to look teenagers in the eyes and love on them when they show up. And I know that this can be difficult sometimes and that there are exceptions and that there are times that we might violate this rule. But this is one of the reasons that we don't begin right on the dot, right at 6:30 on Wednesday nights and right at 9 a.m. on Sunday mornings because with our schedules and with traffic and things that come up, it can make it tough sometimes. But if someone were to visit Elevate, we would want them to see us consciously making every effort to be available to students. So, let's talk about making most of those first 10 minutes. Here are some practical thoughts for us. The first one is this: position yourself where there's lots of people traffic. Let's just go ahead and get right in the mix and find a place. Maybe that's at the entrance. Maybe it's just wherever students are naturally congregating. But make the most of those precious moments before the service officially begins, and don't sidle yourself off in some corner. Now, a second thought would be, don't just circle up only with other leaders. Of course, it's fun to see other leaders at Elevate, and because we have such a wonderful team, it's difficult to not want to hang out with each other instead of with students. Now, this is a struggle for me even every week because I love all of you so much. Now, I'm not saying that when we walk into the room, we shouldn't even make eye contact with any other leader. God forbid. We absolutely want to create a culture where we love each other and that we model that for our students. But sometimes we have to remind ourselves that those critical moments while we're at Elevate, that we are there to serve, to connect with and invest into students. And so after Elevate, we can hang out, we can laugh, we can connect at Wendy's, Taco Bell, Pizza Hut, or wherever it is that we end up. Now, a third thought for this 10-minute rule before the service is to have a few things to talk about. It's a good idea to have some icebreaker type questions ready to roll. I'm thinking of some basic stuff like, what's the most interesting thing that happened to you this week? Or what's your favorite class? Or what are you into, like sports or drama or calculus? I don't know. Maybe you've got even some slightly deeper questions that are in your back pocket. That it's a little well for you to go to, that you can get some great questions asked to get some conversation started. Now, I'm sure that y'all probably have more creative questions than mine just now, but the key is that you ask any question with sincerity. It doesn't matter what you ask a teenager as long as you're sincere, as long as you give them genuine eye contact and careful attention. People know instantly when they're not the most important person in the room. So, let's make every effort to clear distractions and use those few moments at the beginning of our service to really connect with students. All right, so that helps us cover the 10 minutes before the service. So you might be thinking, well, does this 10-minute rule apply afterwards as well? Of course it does. As soon as the service ends, we may have a tendency to want to get our stuff together and go home. But we've got to understand the importance of that hangout time that's just immediately following that service. Oftentimes, this is when we have an incredible opportunity for ministry, whether that be through getting to pray for a student, pray with them, having a meaningful conversation with them, or ministering to them through the simple act of listening. Listening sometimes to what may seem like unimportant information, but you might be listening to someone that feels like no one ever wants to hear what they have to say. So, here are a few things that we can think about for the 10-minute rule after the service. Number one, don't clean up right away. There's time to clean up when the students have filtered out and there maybe just a few of them are left. Let's be available to them. Sometimes after a big night or an important message, there's a chance to bring up something important. And they're going to finally get the courage to say something that they've been holding on to in their heart for a long time. And for many students, getting that courage to say anything at all could take most of the night. So, let's be understanding, let's be available, and let's be grace-filled when they come to talk to us. Now, second thought for the 10-minute rule after the service is that this right here, look for loners. It's easy after the height of a great big service for us to circle up with the more popular, regular attending students. But you, as an effective leader, you're going to scout for someone on the outside and make attempts to bring them on the inside. And I promise you this, you will be amazed as that person slowly moves from the outside of the family to a more regularly loved part of our family. If we want to be healthy, we won't allow kids to be by themselves. There's nothing worse than feeling alone in a teenager's life. So instead, let's send them home feeling valued, like they were important enough for you to go out of your way and connect with them. Relationships are a critical key to building a strong student ministry. Now here's a third thought for this 10-minute rule after the service. You know what? It's time to clean up. The event is over. The service is finished. The students have left or nearly almost all gone. It's time to wrap up. So, leave the room better than how you found it. Leave the parking lot in better condition than when you arrived. Take just an extra 30 seconds to scan the room and see what you can fix or pick up or glue back together. It's simply summarized as this: finish as strong as you started. Then, let's all go to Wendy's or Taco Bell, Pizza Hut, or wherever it is, and let's have a good time. I've been doing student ministry as an adult for 15 years, and I know that some of you have been doing it even longer. And I've seen when the leadership team concentrates on relationships, and even especially these 10 minutes before and 10 minutes after the service or an event, that good things can happen. Yes, absolutely, student ministry is far bigger than those 20 minutes. But those 20 minutes are often wasted. They're not seen as strategic. When we begin to view the bookend 10 minutes as important, I guarantee that we're going to see some relational results that we might have been missing. Hey, thank you for taking the time to care for our students and working together as a team. Blessings on all of you that you serve students this week by the God's grace, mercy, power. Thank you.